Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judgmo. Welcome to your Premier League Unfiltered show. We're talking about Liverpool versus Manchester City. Will Liverpool end the title hopes for Manchester City? Of course, on Sunday, Arsenal easy dub against Sunderland incoming. Is that a banana skin? Chelsea away at Wolves, of course. And Chelsea must win because they must bounce back because their manager talk a lot. The manager talk a lot of smack about respect and all this stuff. He's trying to make a name for himself. Maybe as someone said on Twitter, maybe he should work on his touch first before he actually talks about other teams. Of course, that's what people are saying on Twitter. Liverpool must win against City to keep in touch with Man United, who are aiming for the second spot based on my friend Sal here, who thinks that Man United are going to go for the second spot. Of course, and we got Man City, who they have one win in 6 in the Premier League, but they think they will win the title. Hit that like button, people, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, everyone, for the 50,000 subs. If you are joining us from the Football Terrace, hit that like button, people. Let's get live to 300 likes. And if you're watching this in the replay, make sure to like the video because it helps the channel. The like button helps the channel move to the next viewer. So hit that like button. Leave a comment underneath the video after, of course. And how is everyone feeling? Mark, you come back against Arsenal. I'm going to give you something.
I don't want anything from you.
You said that it's possible, but you said it's unlikely, but it's unlikely.
Exactly.
I'm going to be honest with you. How do you feel about your manager first? Quickly.
Honestly, it's a tough one. I don't like the way that he set up. I don't like the tactics. He picked a bunch of players that were completely exhausted. But at the same time, he's won every single Premier League game. I think it's like 5 out of 5. So it's give and take. I don't really know.
No. Mark, come on. Mark, come on. Your manager can't count to 3. How can you rate this guy?
Well, I just told you now.
I'm going to tell you something at least, Neil. He won more than Arteta in the new year since he took over.
And he's the Premier League manager of the month.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we can take from January 13th to,
but that's where he was hired.
No problem.
It wasn't hard in the beginning of the season.
That's fine. But he proved this week he can't count to 3. And Chelsea have given him a 6-year contract, and Mark's like, well, I don't know.
They didn't give him. They give him a 6-year contract.
Count to 3.
He's short for Chelsea standards.
Actually, we're not starting with Chelsea. We're gonna start right away. I want to start with Liverpool and Manchester City. How do we see that game going? Is the City have hope in this game, or that's the title done for them in this game?
I'm not super confident about the game. My optimistic pick is a draw. We have this mystery thing going on in the second half of games where it doesn't matter how well we're playing in the first half. The manager makes a sub at halftime and we have no clue how to deal with it. It's been happening for quite a while. The time I really started noticing it was a couple months ago against Leeds United at the Etihad. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm talking to people who know tactics better than I do, but something happens in the second half of every game and we have issues. We've bottled quite a few leads, But I came close on the other ones too. So I don't know what it is, but until that gets solved, I'm not super confident going into the rest of the season. So,
but Mo told us last week, unequivocally, Man City are on an upward trajectory. So there's optimism here, no?
When did I say this?
It must be right.
I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, bro. They won one game in 6 at their upward trajectory.
You said they're on an upward trajectory.
That was
you said your words, Mo.
I think you're deluded. I think that was like weeks ago when they started winning games.
Pull it up,
he's a Chelsea.
I was actually months ago.
Yeah, good memory.
That was months ago when I said they clicked.
Last Friday, categorically, you said they're on an upward trajectory. And there was people on this panel, including me, saying, hold on, they won one game in 5 and they're on an upward trajectory.
Even at that time, they didn't win. Last Friday, City haven't won a game in January in the Premier League. No, they won against Wolves this weekend. Oh, did they win against?
It was last weekend.
They drew against Spurs, didn't they? They dropped
upward
Spurs.
Yeah, last
trajectory.
weekend was the Spurs bottle, Joe.
If I said that, broski, if I said that, it
Glad
must
you
have
said
been
it, Kel.
completely.
I'm glad you said it.
If
I'm a
I
realist.
said that,
I'm a
if I
realist.
said that, that was a complete howler, or maybe I was playing devil's advocate. Because, bro, they won 1 game in 6. Since Rodri came back, they can't win a game convincingly with Rodri being in the team. So, absolutely not. I actually think that City aren't going to win against Liverpool at all. I think the title ends this Sunday. I think this is it for the title. I think this is the title done. Even if City draw and Arsenal win, I think it's done. However, there is ways that City can win this game. On the counter attack, if they sit deep and defend against Liverpool, tactically they can win the game. Liverpool still, yes, they haven't lost a game in like 12 or 13 games or something like this, or they lost 1 game. They lost 1 game against Bournemouth. That was with the throw-in at the end. But City can win the game. It's not a 0% chance like Arsenal versus Real Madrid last season. But it's unlikely. Of course, it's unlikely that happens. But is there a must-win for Liverpool as well? Why are we only talking about City?
The thing is, Mo, we have to win in the sense that Chelsea and United are coming strong. And this season ultimately will, unless we win the Champions League, which is an extreme long shot, this season will inevitably end up a disappointment for us, because at the start of the season, our objectives were not just to finish in the top 4 or 5. Our objective was to win the league. So by that measure, ultimately we would have failed. And so we need to look towards next season. We need to finish this season strong, because fine, this season's gone, but next season is still all there to play for. And if we want to be there, we need to finish this season strongly, because if we finish this season up and down and, win some, lose some and all that kind of stuff, it really doesn't stand us in good stead for what could come next season. We need to finish the season strongly. And ultimately, in terms of squad preparation and squad enhancement, we need the money from the Champions League to make that happen. So, yeah, I can understand why a lot of people will say it to be say it's a must-win, because ultimately we should be doing better. I think on paper, and maybe not particularly very recent results, but over a number of years, I think generally speaking, we've been better than Chelsea and better than United, and I think we are better than them. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what you do on paper; it's what you do on the pitch. And
go ahead.
So, we need to finish in the Champions League places. Otherwise, slot will go. Can I ask you something? What do you say to the people, the Liverpool fans, that keep saying that they would rather, that they actually think like Spurs, that they would rather City win the league than Arsenal? It was a clip on TalkSport. It's not Mo. It's literally a clip on TalkSport that a couple of Liverpool, by the way, it's Liverpool fans from Liverpool are saying this. So what do you say about that? You know what it is? It's just football banter, right? And the reason I say that is because people were saying the same thing about this when we won our first league in 30 years. They'd rather City win the league than Liverpool win the league because we'll be unbearable. People will always say that. And for Arsenal, it's been 22-something years since the last one, the Premier League. And Arsenal fans, they've had to take a lot of shit since then. They have been the butt of everybody's jokes, especially in the last 10 years or so, right? And people don't like it when Arsenal's time comes to get even, because Arsenal fans who've been taking all this shit, and I've got very good friends I live in London, I've got very good friends who are Arsenal fans, they will give it back to you because you've been talking shit, including Liverpool fans, United fans, Chelsea fans, everybody. You got to, if you're going to dish it out, you have to be able to take it. And Arsenal win the league this season. I'm pretty confident now because I just don't think City is strong enough. And if people have to eat some humble pie, so be it. When United, I said this to Terry years ago, there will come a time when Man United are good again. There will come a time when Man United will win the league again. And when that time comes, you better believe that United fans are not going to forget all the shit that Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans and everybody else has said about them. And when that time comes, and I hope it's a long, long time in the future, we're going to have to sit and take it.
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying.
As for City, guys, does anybody see City coming back to be their best, even at the end of the season or next season?
I think next season we're still going to have some growing pains because, again, we're rebuilding this entire team, and some of the experienced people are going to leave in the summer. So I could see this continuing into next season, but maybe this time next season it clicks. I'm not sure. I just think the growing pains have taken longer than I personally predicted. I know that's something I've had to come to grasp with in the past couple of weeks. Like, there is a lot of inconsistencies with some of these younger players. Even some of the older ones are struggling to just settle in, and Pep's tactics are very complicated, and he keeps changing them every week. And I think that's not helping the situation.
But
do you think it's time for him to leave? Sorry, Mo. Do you think it's time for Pep to leave? Because he looks a little bit fed up with the club. He's just not the same, even in interviews. He just doesn't sound the same. Doesn't sound enthusiastic like he usually does. And it doesn't seem to be working out. Maybe a fresh change is what's needed for Man City. What do you think?
He's always trolling in those like pregame interviews. So I don't take anything he says seriously. He's been slow burning up to that, and now he's just like in IDGAF mode. Like, he just, the media has been giving him crap for years, and he's finally just toying back with them. So I wouldn't take anything he says in the pressers that seriously, except for that speech he had about the political topic, which I won't get into. But that one you could take seriously because that one came from his heart. Oh, sorry, my cat has decided.
So you're happy if he stays?
I mean, I want him to remember who he is. Oh, get out of there. Sorry, my cat has decided to come and be a nuisance. I want the old Pep back. I haven't seen that old Pep in a little while. The ruthless one who would bench players when they weren't good instead of just handing them their spot back when they're not performing just because they're, the big name on the team sheet. Or if he could get back to that, yeah, absolutely. But I have noticed, I have noticed his body language this season hasn't been the greatest. So I have to wonder, like, what's going on there. And, I'm not, he's just doing things he's just never done before. Like I said, usually when you misplace a pass, you get banished to the shadow realm for a month or two. But yeah, these same players keep making the same mistakes and they keep playing every game. So that is just very different. I'm not used to that. I'm used to mistakes being punished and poor performances being punished. But that hasn't happened in probably 2 seasons now. So, I mean, we'll see. I think he was pretty clear today in his quotes that he says he's staying until the end of his contract. So anybody who is like starting the party on, Pep out, I think you have to wait till the end of next season.
Can I ask Salah about Man United versus City in next season? Do you see Man United catching up to City this season or next season?
It depends how the pre-season goes and depends who the manager is, to be honest with you, because there's so many unanswered questions about Man United at the moment. I don't see why not if we invest properly. I don't think we're as far away as people think. I think we're just a couple of positions, maybe the fullback positions, the midfield. If we fix that area of the pitch, I think we can. I think we can challenge City. We got the momentum at the moment. I am putting that down to a new manager bounce at the moment. But next season, it's hard to tell, to be honest with you. Until Man United fix that midfield, I can't see us challenging.
But do you see you catching Man City this season?
Yeah, I do. I actually do. And the reason I see that is, I said it on Hussam's channel yesterday. I said that I see the title race being over. I can actually see the title race being over within the next couple of weeks. I think that Arsenal will run away with it. And then I think City might put all their eggs in the Champions League basket. And I think they'll drop some more points. And I think Man United will end up catching them up because I feel that we've got the momentum at the moment. And I think we can take that second or third place. We can. Aston Villa got injuries.
But you are dismissing Chelsea and Liverpool, by the way.
No, he's saying finish second. He's Liverpool and Chelsea.
So he's dismissing Chelsea and Liverpool and Villa. Because it's competition. He thinks his competition is only City.
Mo, the Liverpool fan and the Chelsea fan on this panel have dismissed themselves. It's just flat. There's no chest on this. The person who's got the biggest voice on this outside of me is Sal. There's no optimism. They look beat, bro. Why do you think they look beat? Because they got no faith in their team. Why do you think Sal's got chest? Because he's looking at them and going, listen, we'll take you out.
And you
tell me I'm wrong. Look at Kelk's like ready to go sleep, giving up on City.
Oh, I just woke up. Relax.
Mark's like, oh yeah,
Rosenior.
I mean, I don't blame Mark. It's like if I had Rosenior as a manager, I'd be depressed.
Thanks, Neil.
Rex,
I
like,
can see
oh,
Man United
man.
coming second, Neil. You know, I can
know,
see
see?
us taking it. I can see us
I
taking
can see
it.
still
comes.
have
You're
left to
convincing
play.
me, Sal. You're convincing me, Sal.
Yeah, I have to. Like, I'm saying this with chest.
I'm
I think
pulling up the United fixtures. I got to see this.
Yeah, we've got obviously we've got Spurs tomorrow. We've got Crystal Palace at home. Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Chelsea are the hard ones. They're away from home. Those are the ones Man United still have to play. Liverpool at home as well. We've got so. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you guys the reality. Whoever manager that finishes, whoever club that finishes below Man United, their manager should be under question. With all due respect.
It looks like you go to St. James.
It's not a disrespect to Man United. It isn't a disrespect to Man United. It's just the fact that I know that Man United play one game a week. They have a Michael Carrick. In the beginning of the season, they don't have the squad that is up there, but the players are playing. Liverpool are doing terrible. Now they are doing okay. Someone told me that this is the worst unbeaten run. That was the worst unbeaten run. That has a lot of draws. Chelsea is supposedly have the best team in the league.
I'm pretty sure Arsenal.
You also have to go to the Stadium of Light, and they haven't lost a game.
Arsenal had one which involved like the Europa League and a load of other ones, and it was like I think it was under Unai Emery. It was like unbeaten, and everyone was saying at the time that this is the most underwhelming unbeaten run.
I think you boys just eclipsed that, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
We went 18 games unbeaten, but it was pretty underwhelming stuff, and then it just epically fell apart.
So all of this Liverpool spending and Chelsea spending just for Man United to come and say, I'm going to finish second.
United spent quite a bit of money themselves.
Exactly.
Let's not
but United have always been crap while spending the money, while getting Pogba.
We had 4 in, 4 out. We didn't really spend a lot of money net, you know. So we had 4 in, 4 out.
It was like 80 million.
Amazing amount of money. 500 million.
Oh, so now
wait a minute.
Okay, gotcha.
You see how we shift there? We were talking net spend when we came to Man United, but when we came to Liverpool, it was a gross spend. So we can all play that game.
I've never said anything about Liverpool spending. I've never said anything.
You said 500 million.
And by the way, I'm going to say something. If someone in the chat saying slot tax and Rosenior tax, they don't have Pep. They don't have Jurgen Klopp. They don't have Pep Guardiola. They don't have Luis Enrique. They have Michael Carrick coaching them. With all due respect,
Michael Carrick, get it right.
No, in reality, Man United, people have this excuse about Slot and Rosenior. Well, they don't. I'm sorry, they don't have a world-class manager. They don't have Prime Mourinho coaching them. You know, they also have someone that is unknown, like Rosenior. Michael Carrick is like Rosenior.
You never know, Mo. Look, Luis Enrique.
I don't know why Man United fans have chest and nobody else have. I don't understand this.
The thing is, United have come
simmering for quite some time. It's been what?
Mo, you said City were the ascendancy. You said City were in the ascendancy. The reality is, United are in the ascendancy in these last few games. Obviously, like we said, it could be new manager bounce. They had. Let's not forget in the last game, they were 2-0 up and then they got pulled back to 2-2. But then when you win 3-2 and you get that last minute goal, in a way, of course, there's some question marks because you gave away a 2-goal lead. But the euphoria of getting a last minute winner kind of makes that disappear to some extent and argue makes them even more confident, right? Because they get a bit more of that winning mentality back. With Liverpool, it's just we're so inconsistent. We've beaten the best team in Italy, Mo. Well, I hope you. I don't know if you consider yourself the best team in Italy.
Yeah.
We beat you. We've beaten the best team in England. We've beaten Real Madrid this season. So it shows to me that on our day we can beat anybody in the world. The problem is that then we're likely the following week to lose in the last minute against Bournemouth. So it's just inconsistency. You're right in the saying that in the sense that I don't trust us right now. And if we put a run together, then I will start trusting us again. That's why I say on paper, I think we have the most talent, and we are.
Who has the best team out of the three? Manchester United, Chelsea, and who has the best team?
What are we listening to? This is unbelievable.
The best team, but on paper, I think being
they have the best starting 11. They have zero depth though at all.
Yeah. Who has the best starting 11? Man United, in your opinion?
Liverpool have the best starting 11.
Liverpool definitely have the best starting 11, but again, they have no depth at all.
Really?
Who's their backup center back? Joe Gomez and
no. I like Liverpool have the best starting 11.
Yeah, out of Chelsea and Manchester United. Yeah.
I think the way Ekitike and Florian works.
I think it's even up there as best in the league.
Florian Wirtz have only started coming good.
Yeah.
Lately, he's not.
But he's coming good. You agree?
Have Liverpool got a better starting 11?
No longer double 15
you can argue Man United are only starting coming as a team. Now, I think Wirtz has still got a lot to prove. He's got a massive price tag. Right now, as far as this season is concerned, he's still underwhelmed. But at least he's starting to do something in the same way, like we said with Man United. Man United now look like a more coherent team. They're playing well. They're showing they've got fighting spirit. At Old Trafford, they're going to be difficult for anybody. So I think United are a good team. Chelsea are maybe a little bit close to Liverpool in the sense that one week you may get good performances, you may get bad performances. But it really is all to fight for.
I think it is, but as well, you've got to look at football as a new manager bounce. In regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he got second place, and I familiarized this season with that season where we came second place under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and were 20 points behind Man City, wasn't it, or something like that. I see it like that. I think no one's looking at Man United at the moment. I think everyone's got their eyes on the other clubs, and when we say second place, people are like, "Oh my God, Man United second? No way, they're a banter team." But I actually think that we're going to be creeping up. We get our results. I think we've got a number of winnable games, and I don't think it's in the realms of impossibility to come second. I think it'd be a huge achievement, but I don't think it's going to be like second. Man United all season been the second best team. They haven't, by all means. But football doesn't work like that. It's all about momentum, especially this time of the year. It's the business end of the year, they say, isn't it? So we just get the results and see what happens. And if we come second, fantastic. But doesn't mean that Michael Carrick is going to be the next Messiah, the next Alex Ferguson. We still have to look at it objectively and think about proper managers. Do you know what I mean? Because we've seen it with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course.
But look at Man United. Man United are 6 points behind City. That's not an insurmountable gap.
Yeah. If City can win the league, 6 points behind Arsenal, why can't Man United come?
Why can't Man United win the league? No, come second.
Yeah, it's only 4 points to the top of the league.
Not that far yet.
I'm just trying to...
Manchester United must.
What happened to Chelsea, Mark? Why are we dismissing Chelsea? Why is everyone dismissing Chelsea as a team as well? Like I don't understand this, to be honest with you. Like Chelsea, from Caicedo being the best midfielder in the league to now Caicedo being behind Rice, behind Bruno, behind this, behind that. From Enzo Fernandez being the best.
Who's saying this? And they play in different positions as well.
Wow.
In terms of the midfield, you would like Cole Palmer has not shown up the levels that he has. Andre Santos was supposed to be the next big thing, and he hasn't. Joao Pedro is the only one that is in form now, and I'm even against the Arsenal team. He's the only one that for me looked very good against Arsenal, against Saliba. The rest of the team, even Estevao is being, you know what I mean? Now he's being a little bit more.
He just come back from Brazil.
I don't think it's a mental thing. I think Estevao has the talent. I think the problem with Estevao is not he's getting the Saka treatment, which is every time he gets the ball, there is two players on him, not one, because now everyone knows his ability, and that makes it harder to play. He's getting the Salah treatment. He's getting like these treatments, and it's hard. The defense, Kukurea, good, but how good? Reece James is one of the things that I don't understand why he's not playing enough football, medical team or not medical team. Yet Chelsea team is being dismissed completely from the equation for some whatever reason, and
it's because the manager. It's because this season we've been playing so inconsistent, just like Liverpool. Plus, we've got this new manager. All Chelsea fans are just a little bit wary. We just want to see.
I'm comparing,
what
but Mark, I'm gonna put context before I let you go and answer this. The thing is, I'm comparing it to Man United, who also got an inexperienced manager as even a caretaker in Michael Carrick. But everyone is looking at Man United now. By the way, Chelsea won. Not. Chelsea, but I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about everyone. Chelsea, by the way, won more games than Man United since the hiring, because you won every game, right? Bar one
Premier League game. Yeah,
you won every Premier League game.
Every Premier League game.
You won every Premier League game. Man United won 3 Premier League games since Carrick, which is yes. And then people are looking at Man United and they're like, "Oh, this team look good. They can get second." Nobody's looking at Chelsea and saying, "Yeah, this team."
Chelsea fans don't say anything, Mo, because we're just a little bit embarrassed that we've got a joke of a manager, someone that's coming.
So why Man United fans are not embarrassed? That's the question.
I don't know. They're sticking up. I don't understand it because I don't know why everyone's going on that they're going to finish second.
Yeah,
it could happen, but I put them on the same level. I mean, Chelsea have just as much chance to finish second as Manchester United. That's just my opinion. So I don't understand why everyone keeps.
What are you basing that opinion on? What are you basing that opinion on?
Well, just look at the results, Mo.
Okay,
that's it. That's the best way to go through it. Is look at the results. We're playing well, but Chelsea fans are waiting for a hiccup, which can turn into bad form, and that's what we're kind of waiting for. We don't want to stick our chest up, as you love to say, because we don't feel like we have the right to. We feel like the club is a bit of a joke at the moment. It's performing well in the league. That's great. Let's see how long that continues. And then we get to see by the end of the season, just like Michael Carrick with Manchester United.
Just to answer this quickly, because of what happened versus West Ham, Man United were 2-0 up against Fulham, and they brought it back to 2-2. And that was at Old Trafford as well. So it's not. Big up my man Brian. From title challengers to but new manager. I'm gonna let Neil do this because you know what? It's never old to play.
And this is why I've maintained the fact that I believe this team can go the distance in the title race, because this league is rubbed out. It's been shit for years. The problem is we've been on a rebuild during that point. But now this is our best opportunity to take advantage of that. The fact that the table toppers couldn't kill us, and meant to be mentality monsters, meant to be 90-minute merchants, all of that, they didn't have anything for us. 10 men or 11 men. That might be a bit more of a statement for us than for them.
When was this? When did
this? Is right after the Arsenal game. This is
no way. Oh no!
That 1-1 win.
That's the 1-1 win. That's the one. That's right.
Oh no, I don't agree with that.
Chelsea can't have the same level or same chance to finish second as Man United.
Why?
Because we're both equalising the managers. Yeah, you're saying Rosenior not very good, but then we're saying Michael Carrick, he's not some next level manager, right? You just got to look at.
We're not saying that. Nobody's saying it. Same level.
No, but 1 minute.
No one rates Carrick. No one rates
Neil finish the manager.
No one.
Let Neil finish. I want to hear why. Right? Okay, go ahead.
Well, no one's rating Carrick. No one's rating Rosenior, right? So they can cross each other out, however way you want to do it, right? Then you got to look at. Then it's down to the fixtures. Chelsea have got some horrendous fixtures. Rosenior is going to have to go to the Emirates. He's going to have to go to Villa Park. He's going to have to go to Old Trafford. He's going to have to go to Anfield. Where else does he have to go? He's going to have to go to Everton. He's going to have to go to Sunderland. Your fixtures are horrendous. And we're expecting Rosenior to go there and get results. Now, if he does it, fair play to him. But the chances are a manager that isn't a known manager or
but he won every game, Neil. Just to counter this, he won every game.
Yeah, and additionally, Neil, you keep on going about that. Let's have a look at the next 4 games. We're playing Wolves, then Leeds, then Hull, then Burnley.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that we can't pick up a little bit of form and a little bit of confidence in that time.
You know that February is all winnable games, Neil. You know that, right?
Exactly.
February
and March and
February should actually pull away.
Literally in
March
February.
And April are all
games. But that's the whole. In February, Chelsea can literally pick up all the points there, of course, until they face Arsenal away.
Who are they playing? Because remember, Chelsea have.
I'm gonna tell you, they play. Guys, they play 3 games. They play Wolves, Leeds at home, and Burnley at home. These are 9 points. 9 points.
Hold on. What do you mean it's 9 points? They're going away to Wolves tomorrow. I know Wolves are bottom. But
are you saying that they are not going to win against Wolves tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea drop points. If anyone else in this panel,
would you be surprised? Those kind of teams.
Would you?
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is more likely, Chelsea dropping points against Wolves or Man United dropping points against Everton away?
Chelsea still have
Everton away without right. Everton away.
Everton that good.
Yeah, but Chelsea still have.
Okay, Man United now have chest going. Hold on. Do I get Man United fans? Wallah al-Azim, this is the biggest flip I'm not saying flip. This is the biggest flip in chess I've seen in history. Man United fans telling me that Everton away, it's not that bad. It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing, bro.
New stadium, man. It's not Goodison Park anymore.
Oh my god! And also completely dismissing City. Sal, but I want to go back to Chelsea.
No, can we just talk about the managers quickly? Because
yes, please. Go
I
ahead.
also don't think it's fair to say Rosenior and Carrick are on the same level. Rosenior has been a manager at 2 other clubs. Okay, Hull I think was questionable, but
hasn't Carrick been a manager
when he was at
Middlesbrough
Strasbourg? He took a team that was finished 13th in one season, or maybe and then he finished 7th. Now, yes, it's questionable, but that's worth something. And don't get me wrong, Carrick may be the guy, but Rosenior has been a manager and has had to go through at least a full season in Ligue 1, which is one of the top 5s in Europe, leagues in Europe. Could Carrick have done that? Possibly, maybe he could have done better. But we do know that Rosenior has done okay last year in France.
So you'd have Rosenior over Carrick as your manager.
What I'm saying is,
Carrick has 3 years of first team managing at Middlesbrough. Am I not mistaken?
Exactly.
Well, undefeated.
It's 2022. You know, Carrick has coached for 3 consecutive years. Am I wrong?
Was he the manager at Middlesbrough?
Yeah,
for 3 years.
He done really well until
first team. Okay, all right, fair enough. That must have flown by me. Okay,
unless I'm mistaken, because I'm checking his stats.
He has been.
He hasn't lost.
He was interim as United, wasn't he, a few years ago?
Yeah, he's twice.
Am I checking? I'm trying to check his. Yeah, he coached 136 games. To be honest, his win percentages.
Okay. You know what?
He won 63 games. You know. So I'm not gonna say that.
I'll take it back. I'll take it back. They're not the same level.
Who do you want? Who would you rather have, Rosenior or Michael Carrick?
I would take none.
I'd watch more Rosenior.
No, you can't say that. You pick one. What do you mean? I have none.
Pick
Who
one.
would you rather play under right now? Personality
right now.
wise,
Michael Carrick.
Why?
It's 2 things.
Wow, that's very dismissive. I've watched a lot of Strasbourg this season, and I like what Rosenier's done.
I'm gonna tell you why I would
he
rather.
Forgot to bring his 2 best.
Number one, I'm gonna tell you why I would rather to play under Michael Carrick. Number one, Michael Carrick played under better managers in his career, so he must have learned something from them. Michael Carrick was a defensive midfielder, and that says a lot. And a majority of the good coaches around in the world are midfielders. Now, I don't know where Rosenior plays, right? The second thing, I think Rosenior is a manager that is just a yes man. He's hired as the face of the project. I don't think they have anything for him, to be honest with you. This guy is getting instructions from a medical team. I think the board and the medical team is picking the lineup sometimes to raise the stocks of some players.
Mo, that's the job of the
That's
medical
what I
team.
think. That's what I think.
The job of the medical team.
Carrick's won things.
Also, I would rather.
He can count to 3.
If 2 managers are equal, I would rather play under the name that is bigger as a player than the other one. If the 2 managers are equal,
sure. But Mo, okay.
I
stand corrected on my Michael Carrick point. I didn't. That Middlesbrough stint must have flown by me. I wasn't really paying too much attention.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
By a lot of people.
But I also don't think it's fair to say necessarily that he's just doing what the medical department says. The medical department is important that the medical department is independent of the coaching department, because otherwise you have a situation where the manager can force players who may or may not be fully fit into a team when they're not medically capable of it for whatever reason. So there's a reason why there needs to be a separation between them. That happens in all top clubs, so it should happen at all top clubs.
Yeah, but it hasn't always happened like that, Rax.
Not always. For
example,
in modern coaching, that's how it works.
Back in the day, there wasn't so much emphasis on the medical teams. Like all players, even if they're injured, they all used to get jabbed up, used to play no matter if they're injured or whatever. So now it's too much control.
But the point is, was that always the best thing for the players or the club? Maybe, but
can I tackle this from a different angle? If I am a player and I'm choosing between Man United and Chelsea now, assuming that Carrick is going to be a full-time coach, right? Because we don't know. So assuming, because now we're comparing 2 managers here, right? I would rather play for Man United than play for Chelsea. And by the way, that changed. Last summer, I would have told you I would rather play for Chelsea than Man United if I'm a player. Right? That changed by the firing of Maresca, by the approach in the summer, and by hiring Liam Rosenior. I know that if Michael Carrick, if Man United and Chelsea are going for the same player, and Michael Carrick talks to a player,
I believe that player would listen to Michael Carrick and maybe would want to play for someone like Michael Carrick than Liam Rosenior. Imagine if both of them are going for Adam Wharton. I'm just giving an example, right? And Michael Carrick and the manager's talk. Imagine that, just hypothetical. If Michael Carrick talks to Adam Wharton might want to play for Michael Carrick over Liam Rosenior, right?
No, these are hypotheticals.
Man United
these are not hypothetical. These are not hypothetical because Jeremy Jacquet. These are not hypothetical because if you
from the summer.
Listen to what Mo's saying.
Vincent Kompany,
what he's actually saying.
Vincent Kompany. Who did he speak to in the summer? Give you a clue. He plays for Liverpool.
Diaz.
Wirtz. Okay. Arne Slot is not a legend of the game, right? But Arne Slot spoke to him, and Vincent Kompany spoke to him.
But I will counter this. I will counter this right away. Can I counter it?
He conveyed his opinion.
Can I counter this? Let me counter this. Let me counter this. Wirtz was convinced to come to England to play for the champions of England under a manager that won the Premier League. He went, maybe one of the things that they couldn't convince him about Munich is him to have a starting position there because there is Musiala there. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is the rule that he was going to play in Bayern Munich. Arne Slot then is not a big name, right? But Arne Slot was a Premier League winning manager that has at his team a world star like Salah, another world star like Van Dijk. There's a lot of things to convince Wirtz to go to Liverpool.
Exactly, Mo. But you're saying Carrick and thingy without talking about any.
But I'm talking only about the manager.
Show me you don't know because
I am not comparing. I am not.
If you want to
do you want to compare? Okay, so which is something that I wanted to discuss as well. The approach. If you are to bet on who's going in the right direction, Man United or Chelsea, which one are you betting on? I don't know if you bet or not. I don't bet, but if you're betting, scale. If you're to bet on who's going in the right direction, Chelsea or Man United, which one do you bet on? You have to choose one.
Chelsea. Fuck United.
Why?
Because I hate Manchester United.
Mo, your point is that I thought you were going down the road of if Rosenior and Carrick speak to a player, you're basically going down the road of Rosenior sounds like a clown, so you're going to play for Carrick. No,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You were going down. No,
also,
I don't think
Mo,
so.
Also,
I didn't say that. He's putting words in my mouth. That's him saying this.
Okay, were you going down that road? I thought that's what you were saying.
No, not
if
a clown.
Carrick spoke to a player.
Carrick is a bigger name.
Who's the most likely to be manager next season? That's the question. Rosenior or Carrick? Who's the most likely to be at
Rosenior
next season?
Rosenior. Yes, 6-year contract.
Look, United have got a lot of stuff that Chelsea haven't got going for them, right? First of all, if you join Chelsea, you have to talk about the model. Is the model suitable for any incoming player, right? That's going to be a big discussion, just like it's a big discussion amongst the Chelsea fans themselves. A lot of them are unhappy with the board
are going to give them long.
Nobody wants to. I'm going to tell you guys something.
Nobody.
I don't think nobody wants to play for Chelsea anymore.
True. It does, but that also.
You guys are mad underrating this manager.
Argue that's a handcuff because they're going to
lock him into we don't know him.
Wage for a long period. If a player trusts themselves, they think, you know what, I can become elite. Why should I be locked into an $80,000 a week contract for the next 7 years when I back myself to be one of the top 20 players in the world or whatever? I don't know, whatever. But just like Palmer is apparently now there's some question marks about his whether he wants to stay at Chelsea.
He wants to go to United. That says it all.
And United, I hate to say it, but United are a big, huge club. If they start moving in the right direction, then of course they become a lot more attractive than they have been maybe in recent years. So there's always swings and roundabouts. There's different things for different clubs.
I'm not sure if Rosenior will be at the job at the end of the season, guy.
Maybe not.
Because I genuinely will. If you're asking me, the most likely club to miss out on Champions League qualification out of the 3 clubs is Chelsea. I'm not saying they will miss out. I'm saying the most likely one is Chelsea, in my opinion. And I think at that time, Chelsea are staring at a void because of the money, because of the expenditure, because of everything, because of the long contracts and this stuff. And I'm not sure what is going to happen then. Are they going to go and change the model? I think, I'm going to tell you something. I genuinely believe that for the sake of Chelsea fans and Chelsea should miss out on Champions League football.
I agree with you. Hopefully it will force a change.
Yes, hopefully that force a change.
You're giving up on this new manager.
And by the way, for the people that keep saying Villa will miss out, it is unlikely that Villa will miss out on the Champions League. Actually, it is unlikely that Villa will miss out on the Champions League because I think now Villa are not thinking about the title. I was listening to the podcast of The Guardian yesterday, and they are thinking that now Villa are not thinking about we can be close to Arsenal. Villa are now looking at the rearview mirror now. So now Villa are going to focus on making Champions League because the Europa League is not guaranteed. But what is guaranteed now is you being 5 points ahead of Liverpool. Right? That's what's guaranteed now. The Europa League is not guaranteed. So I believe that Villa will hang into the Champions League spot with their teeth. They aren't going to let it go. They aren't. They're going to try their best. If they miss out, they miss out. But I believe that, by the way, I don't believe that Man United will finish second. I believe it's going to be a disaster for City if Man United finish ahead of them. And I believe it will be.
Why do you think that Chelsea are not going to...
Most likely. Most likely.
You've just said earlier on in the podcast that they won every single game in the Premier League. We've just gone over the next 4 games, and you was like, yeah, they're going to collect 9 points.
Let me explain.
Explain.
I can explain it. Yeah. Number one, once the Champions League come to Chelsea, Chelsea will have 2 games a week. Your squad, the level of the drop between the first team and the bench is massive for you. For center backs, for left back, for Reece James and Malo Gusto. I like Malo Gusto. Number 2, your manager doesn't have experience to manage 2 games a week yet. He doesn't, right? At all. He didn't manage 2 games a week, so he doesn't know how to do that. There are other factors coming in for Chelsea, which is in March and April, your run is tougher than the rest, and that is when Champions League are coming in because you aren't going to play until March in the Champions League. This is where the run-in is going to be very hard for you. Man United have 1 game a week, right? Man United have players coming back from injury. De Ligt is coming back from injury. Now Mazraoui came back. Man United have a lot of players that are coming back. They're going to have a full squad soon, right? And I believe 1 game a week is easier for... They're out of the FA Cup as well, so they don't even have to worry about that when that comes to play.
That's
they won't.
Wild.
Right?
The mighty Manchester United, 1 game
as for
a week.
Liverpool, I believe that Liverpool have the quality enough to actually be able to get Champions League football next season. I believe that they have quality, right, in terms of players. This is why it's most likely. I'm not making a full-on conclusion that Chelsea will miss out. I'm just saying that that's the most likely outcome here for me. If I am doing statistics and I'm doing probabilities, the most probable situation is for you to miss out, not the others, because of all the things that I've said. If you can debate any of the reasons I've said, and we can talk about it. But I gave you my reasons. Did you think anything? Do you think anything I said is? Do you think any? Okay, let me ask this question.
Oh, drop that, please.
Also, Mo, I've got time for you, but not that. About,
I said, and also there is one more reason. One of the caveats I put in is Cole Palmer need to be fit for you, and currently, as I'm seeing it, it looks like they're preserving Cole Palmer. They aren't playing him every game. They are preserving him for, he needs to play 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here. And I'm like, but that's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works. They need to rest him properly because he's injured.
It's either you rest him properly or you play. Yeah. Like, I remember the season where he got 30 something. He was playing 90 minutes. And I'm like, even last season, by the way, he was playing games. And I'm like, this is not how you manage a team. Is there anything I said is crazy?
No.
Exactly that.
It's fun.
Also, Mo, I need to correct you on something. You said Rosenior has never managed 2 games a week. Strasbourg are in Europa Conference League, so he's been doing it all season. They're also still in the Coupe de France, so he has been doing that before he came to Chelsea. He's been managing 2 games a week all season.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Mo.
And if anybody has a panel beside me is West Strasbourg, you would see that.
Now, Mo.
Because I've not watched one Strasbourg game in my life.
I'll just say this: you're missing out.
Maybe back in the day. Let me. Carrick took Middlesbrough to the FA Cup semi-final. He did. Yes, big up my man Jay. None of the Chelsea forwards start for United.
I agree.
Does Estevao start? Does Palmer start?
I would have Estevao over Ahmad.
Palmer in a heartbeat at United.
Palmer doesn't start over Bruno Fernandes today.
Not right now, he doesn't.
Bruno's the best
on
number 10,
top
I think,
form, he
maybe.
does.
Yeah, on top form, Gabriel and Saliba don't start over Van Dijk. Today, Gabriel and Saliba start over Van Dijk.
No,
See?
I don't know. That I disagree with. Hold on.
No,
Relax.
No, they don't.
Right now. Van Dijk.
Today, Gabriel and Saliba.
Yes.
Hold on.
Gabriel
and...
Van Dijk is
on.
better than any of Chelsea's center backs right now.
So hold on. You don't think that today, Gabriel and Saliba, they start over Virgil van Dijk?
No, absolutely
Let
not.
me do this super chat
right now.
Let me do this super chat.
What?
Let me do this. Carabao Cup semi-final. Let me,
Guys,
let me finish this. There's only 3 left. Carabao semi-final. My bad. Big up. Thank you for correcting. Big up Mo on the panel. Love your streams. Big up my man. Thank you so much. And guys, I'm gonna tell you something. We got 600 people in the house, and we're only on 125 likes. We need 300 likes. Everyone voted. Vote where are you tuning in from, because I want to know where are you tuning in from. I like these polls as well. Vote and like the video. It pushes the stream to new viewers as well. Palmer needs surgery. Chelsea managed this wrong.
Yeah.
Keep giving him excuses. But anyway, excuses. You don't think that Gabriel and Saliba start over Van Dijk today? I'm going to let Neil take this.
Have some respect.
No, what do you mean?
What do you mean respect?
Everyone's in agreement that Gabriel and Saliba start over Van Dijk today.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. I agree with that, Neil. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's
Today.
washed, mate. What do you mean?
Come
on, Rax.
I still rate Van Dijk.
Put bias to
No,
your side.
wait. Oh, right, Rax. Oh, you're
We've had
being
this discussion.
serious.
We've had this discussion before.
He's picking Van Dijk.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
No, you are.
No, you are.
I am. Yeah. Of
You
course
are.
I am.
Exactly.
100%.
No, but what? Just
100%.
start a centre back.
Van Dijk makes them both better, whichever one he plays with. I think he'll be better with Saliba than he will with Gabriel, but Gabriel's been a better defender than Saliba, I think. Van Dijk, no matter who he plays with, he enhances. Look at who he's played
But
with.
not now, not this season.
No, but look at the turnover.
He's made Connor.
I remember when the game
I think
we beat
Kanate has
Arsenal.
made himself
The
look
game we
fucking
beat
awful.
Arsenal.
Yes,
people
exactly.
were eulogising-
Let's hear Rack because it's...
People were eulogising about the fact after we beat Arsenal at home and we went on a 5-game winning streak. People were saying this is exactly why Van Dijk is still the best defender in the world. So, like, it's very easy to look at individual results. I'm saying as an individual player, if Van Dijk was to go to Arsenal, he'd make Arsenal better without doubt.
No, but bro, he's
Absolutely
pants,
no doubt
bro.
about it.
Let it go.
And don't forget, Rex, your
Van
first
Dijk.
5 games, which you did win, everyone was still criticizing the way that Liverpool were actually playing. They were criticizing not just Kanate, Van Dijk. They've been criticizing throughout the entire season since.
Van Dijk is better in almost every single individual facet of the game than both
top
of those
four in their prime. Yes, maybe.
First of all, the first prerequisite in football these days, you have to be dominant in the air. Saliba's not dominant in the air. Gabriel is actually aerially a very good defender, but he's absolutely nowhere near Van Dijk in the air. Van Dijk can ping a pass like anybody. He can see a pass like anybody.
I hate Arsenal, but I still got to give them their
props.
props.
On a corner to score a goal, Van Dijk and Gabriel.
In every single facet of the game,
Neil's about to have a heart attack.
No. I'm just saying. I don't need to say anything. I've got a Chelsea fan.
I want to say something.
Arsenal have
Chelsea arguing for me.
Arsenal have without doubt the best defensive partnership in world football. As a partnership, they are by some distance the best, I think.
Yeah.
But individually, Van Dijk is better than both of them.
They've both played individually this season.
Still makes a lot of bozos.
Sure.
That do lead to goals.
Arsenal haven't looked as good, especially when Gabriel was out.
Can I have a devil's advocate take here?
Saliba hasn't looked as bad as.
Let me have a devil's advocate here. Just let me tell you the difference. Van Dijk plays as a defender singularly. Arsenal play Hincapie, which is a left center back. Arsenal is the best team in transition defensively. Like they transition defensively very, very well to actually defend as a team. Mikel Arteta likes to have defenders back there when he loses the ball. Right? I know that you press and everything. Do we think that Gabriel and Saliba can play individually like Virgil van Dijk without having the structure and the system in front of them? Zubamendi and Rice recovering, Hincapie recovering. Do we think that they can do this.
Saliba,
Like Van, because
Gabriel.
one of the reasons, I think one of the reasons Van Dijk is getting exposed a lot of times, just I wouldn't take him over Gabriel and Saliba because I know football is a system, is he's getting left alone now because Arne Slot, one game he would put carrick forward and the other one he was asking him to stay back. Gravenberch is literally, I showed picture of the Bournemouth game. The midfield was wide open and Van Dijk had to defend the spaces plus mark the forward that he's on. While Arsenal, normally, you don't have that situation. You got the structure better than Liverpool. That's why I think that Arteta's a better manager on this lot. Do we think that Gabriel and Saliba would survive in that Liverpool system?
No. Well, we're gonna find out in the World Cup. Let's see how much better Saliba makes Konate look than Van Dijk. We'll find out this summer.
Let's. The thing is, Mo, what you're saying is we're talking about Van Dijk being exposed, but if you think about a lot of issues that Van Dijk has had this season, they've come from moments where he's not actually exposed. He's actually making individual errors. Like Spurs. I mean, there's loads. There's actually, I'm sure we can go through all the games.
Gabriel's done a lot of individual errors too that have led to goals. So don't let him off the hook.
One.
I'm going to tell you one thing about Van Dijk situations that there is a situation that happens in football a lot actually, but it happens mostly this season for Liverpool. It's one of the teams in the Premier League that situation happens to them, which is someone from the middle of the opposition, the midfield of the opposition. They are driving at the defense while the wingers and the forward are still running. So the back line, like Konate and Van Dijk, they have to watch the guy that is coming in at them while also watching the pass. That's why a lot of people see Van Dijk sideways. That situation doesn't happen to Arsenal a lot. Normally, Arsenal are not outnumbered. Arsenal were outnumbered this season once. The City goal that Haaland scored. That's the only one goal that Arsenal were outnumbered. And you weren't able to defend it. Liverpool gets outnumbered a lot defensively, which is something that me and Osam have discussed a lot this season, by the way. There is a lot of...
That is very bad. That's a very bad thing. That is a very bad thing.
By the way, the Bournemouth game, four situations, the defense of Liverpool were outnumbered by the attackers of Bournemouth and the midfield because Gravenberch was higher on the pitch. And I can't remember who else was playing. That, by the way, and I'm not saying, but that situation will make any defender look bad.
Exactly, but then you're talking
hold on.
Bad, yeah?
But the only one that made that situation in his prime 2 years ago, 3 years ago, easy situation is Virgil van Dijk. The only one that was able to defend that. Yes. This season he has had made individual mistakes.
Specifically asked, and said Van Dijk will displace in this Arsenal team Saliba and Gabriel in a heartbeat. Do you agree with that? Right now, you take Van Dijk, you put him in the Arsenal team. Does he start?
I wouldn't do that because the system of Arsenal is very good now. And also there is one more thing. I think Arsenal defense is not only about defending. I would take Gabriel over Van Dijk because of his offensive attributes. This is, people sleep on that offensive attribute. He's fantastic.
I agree.
No, he's a menace.
We all rate that.
Gabriel's a killer in the air offensively, right? But Arsenal's the big thing I think that Arteta has done over the last couple of years, he's filled that team with physical monsters. I know people criticize their fullbacks, but their fullbacks are centre-backs. They're centre-back size fullbacks, right? So that you get...
They all used to be centre-backs.
Fullbacks are relatively speaking smaller in height terms, right? So they've got so much height in that area. It does make it a little bit easier because defender, of course, Gabriel will definitely be picked out because he's the person who quite often gets on the end of it. But when you've got that much of a size advantage, it does make a difference because you've got other people you need to be aware of as a defender. Like you played midfield mode. I didn't play at a super high level, but I played at a high enough level to know that if you've got one thing that you need to worry about.
Yeah, it's easier as a defender, without a shadow of a doubt.
You can mitigate
it's much,
it, right?
As a defender, it's easier.
Height you've got to worry about. If the forward who's playing against you has height, has pace, has trickery, has all these different facets again, it becomes much more difficult because you have to account for each individual eventuality. If they're really fast, you need to drop a little bit deeper because otherwise, going the other way, they're going to zoom past you.
right? You need to mark closely at corners, for example. But if you get too tight, if there's other players behind you who are equally capable, you need to communicate. You need to tell other players, get that guy.
Timber, for example, as a right back, was someone saying that, and it's a Strasbourg season. Timber is a monster. The fact that you as a centre back have Timber right next to you, that by itself makes your job easier. As a centre back, individually. Come on. We're not going to sit here and admit and dismiss
Gabriel
that the guys played with Robertson and Kirkes now and have Gabriel. They don't have a DM, broski. They don't even have a DM.
Mo, let's don't have a right back either.
Listen,
exactly.
It's playing a midfielder as a right back.
Mo, it's night and day between Arsenal structure and Liverpool structure.
Yes,
I agree. That's fine. We all agree. Now, take Gabriel out, put him in that shambles, we'll call it, Liverpool team right now, in terms of defensive structure and the way you're set up. Let's do that. There's been instances this season, and we're talking about this season. There's been several, not just one or two, several instances of Virgil van Dijk getting criticised when he's not facing up. He's not facing up a player. He's even being snapped.
But do you know why he's not facing up?
But hold on. When there's players shooting, turning your back isn't an option. Right?
But you don't understand why he's not facing up.
No, but he's not.
But turning his back. What's the difference?
You don't understand why he's not facing up. You don't understand. I explained why he's not facing up. I explained many times why he's not facing up. Because there is an extra pass happening right next to him. And anyone that played football know that if, as a defender, you need to also not worry about blocking someone. There is an extra pass because the bozos that play next to him and the DM is not following the runners. That happens plenty of times in games.
And also, there's examples this season of Virgil van Dijk actually turning his back at the point of shot, not because he thinks the ball's going to get played in behind him. And that's the difference.
I will give you this. Van Dijk,
you have to, because Gabriel, you ain't never seen him do that. When we were going on that run, Mo, let me finish this point here. Let me learn, because when earlier this season there was that chat about are Arsenal going to break Chelsea's 15-goal record? Now that was never going to happen, but the reason why they're even talking about it is because you had that man monster Gabriel facing up shots and putting his body on the line at times. Now, yes, we have a better defensive structure, but in those moments, Mo, he's still got to face up, taking shots. And Van Dijk has been caught several times turning his back at the point of shot, not to track a runner, turning his back at the point of shot.
I'll give you this.
That alone is a
I will give you
hold on.
I'll give you this a little bit. There are defenders in the world that actually put their body on the line. For example, Diaz puts his body on the line a lot. For example, like Ruben Diaz for Man City. He's someone that will throw everything at a shot. Gabriel does this a lot. There are defenders that do this. I don't think Van Dijk is the one that will throw his body on the line like this, like the other defenders. I haven't seen him in his life because he puts himself in a position that he doesn't have to do this. Because I have seen Van Dijk plenty of times block a shot without even have to throw his body. Because the difference is when you... Let me finish that. Because this point is very important. I repeatedly said in my life on YouTube, right, is you having to throw your body on the line and do a last-ditch tackle. That means your positioning instantly is actually wrong. You didn't read the game, which is something that Maldini said back in the days. And Nesta followed up. They said, I would rather be in the right position before to prevent the opposition from having the space to shoot rather than me throwing my body on the like in front of the ball for me to block it. The thing about Gabriel is that sometimes he would cover his teammate, and that's why he has to throw his body on the line. I believe that Van Dijk is the smart defender that always in the right place and the right position to actually prevent the opposition from getting the right space to shoot. I get you. This season, I wouldn't pick Van Dijk because he has made so many individual mistakes, including the Bournemouth mistake, for example. That is an individual mistake that I don't think it's good for him. I think he's slowed down a little bit. But I believe that Van Dijk...
You just hit the point. You just hit the nail on the head. He slowed down.
But I believe that
who beats Father Time?
I need to finish that. I need to finish the next point. I believe one of the reasons why Van Dijk has hit that point now, and we see him as that, because I believe that Arne Slot is a clown in tactics. Literally a clown. The guy doesn't know that you need a DM in front of your defense in defensive transition when you have players that take risks up front. You need somebody, because his players take a lot of risks. They get dispossessed a lot in the opposition's half, right? And that's why he doesn't have a defense. He doesn't have a Caicedo.
They don't even have a defense. I'm
they
sorry.
Have nobody. Basically, they have nobody.
Midfielder.
Everyone that played knows that if you have a Pep Guardiola team, let me explain this point because this point is very important. If you have a Pep Guardiola team, you can have a team that is very offensive and you don't need that DM that is physically will block teams, right? Why? Because Pep Guardiola's philosophy is that we're going to keep the ball and we're only going to lose it to a goal kick or a shot on target or a corner kick. We aren't just going to take a risk. We aren't going to play a through pass that will get intercepted and now I have to transition back. Arne Slot has Vert, has Ekitike, has Salah, has Gakpo. All these players are risk takers. That means by logic, they will lose the ball because they will play that 50-50 through ball that might not go to their forward, but if it goes, it's a 1-on-1. But they don't have a DM to recover when they make that pass and it doesn't go. That's why everyone is running back, right? And they have no DM. It happened, I'm going to say, 20, 30 times a season. That's why Hussam used to say one pass is all it takes because the transition happens and then they have no DM. They have nobody. McAllister is too slow to recover. Gravenberch is high on the pitch. Now it's on the defenders to recover. That doesn't happen for you, Neil.
You don't even need to be pacey.
It doesn't have to happen for you. Why?
I agree with you.
And that exposed him. That exposed any defender in the world.
Exactly, but that's the point, Mo, right? We're talking about today. We're talking this Virgil van Dijk a couple of seasons ago, you said when he was in his prime, he was the only defender that could defend in a system like this. Did you say that or not just now?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Okay, 2-3 years ago, you said Van Dijk was in his prime. He was the only defender that could defend in a system like this.
Yes.
Okay, so Father Time beats everyone, right? This is the reason. I'm not saying Virgil van Dijk ain't a Rolls Royce. We've seen him be a Rolls Royce. The point being is that if he's getting older now, and you're saying he could, if he was, basically what you're saying is if he was 2-3 years younger, he would actually be defending a lot better in this system. So if he's
I still think he will be exposed. I still think
exposed,
not as much
he's
as
more
now.
Exposed now. He's more exposed now.
Yes, because
exactly.
Of course he's
so
older.
If he's more exposed now, but he's still not going to be that guy. You said he's not going to be the guy to go to ground and do the dirty work because that's not Virgil van Dijk. But he's got a bit older. If he's not going to adapt, by default, you're selecting Gabriel over him. By default. Because that's not to say that Gabriel's ever going to hit the heights that Van Dijk's ever hit. But we're talking about current day. If he's lost a yard, if he's lost whatever he's lost in the last couple of years, then where's the adapt? He's got to adapt and show something different in his game for me to pick him over Gabriel.
But what you're suggesting then is for him to adapt. You're saying for him to go to ground would be his adaptation, and without, in my opinion, that doesn't make any sense. Because the reason why Virgil van Dijk, apart from his individual attributes, is because he's so good at reading the game. And look, we've kind of got, I'm pretty sure we didn't expect to have this this kind of go on this bio.
But I like it.
Conversation.
I like it. I like the conversation.
All the stuff to do with Virgil van Dijk turning his back and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure nobody on this panel thinks that he's turning his back because he's scared of the ball hitting him. It's not like it's a
absolutely not.
Thing. The fact of the matter is, the most famous example of it is in the Champions League final where Real Madrid get that cross in and Vinny Jr. scores against us when Trent's kind of sleeping on the back post, right? And people are saying, "Oh, why is Van Dijk twerking? Why is he side on like that?" Because he's facing up the guy with the ball, and he's got to try and cover as much space to prevent the cross as possible, whilst not completely fronting up and then getting beaten on the outside. So
because Carvajal was making the overlapping run, but nobody wants to say that.
Eventualities with one person, and the only way you can really do that as best you can, it's not always going to work, is by being side on, making yourself as big as possible being side on, but also potentially being ready to sprint. Because if for example, he had covered and he'd been front on, sure, he wouldn't have been able to get the cross on. But then it's just a 5-yard pass to Carvajal going on the outside, and then he's got a completely free cross.
So can Gabriel do that as well? What you're saying in your system? Because you're saying, I understand what you're saying. He's got to stay side on because you're asking him to do too much, right?
Exactly.
So therefore, by default, in today's day and age, if that's the case and you're asking them to do too much, every single defender is going to fail. Wouldn't you just choose the younger man?
No, I don't think so, because ultimately, in Liverpool's system, in that particular instance, you're actually talking about you're being outnumbered, but that's also because that was a function of our system, right? We had flying fullbacks. We had Robertson going on the outside attacking. If I remember correctly, Robertson actually lost the ball or was lost in that area. So the reason why was Robertson was in advance of him. That wouldn't really happen in Arsenal's position, because Arsenal sit back with it and they only push forward as and when. It's not like you have flying fullbacks. They push up when the need arises. And then you've also got...
And they don't take risks. Arsenal players don't take risks.
This is a question we're just gonna go round and round in circles. So
no. My point is Arsenal. How many times you see Arsenal in defensive transition? Not a lot. Why? Because Mikel Arteta has created a system that will keep Arsenal in control the majority of the time. This is one of the things that I say that Arteta is a genius about. This is that it is very hard to create a system when you are in control with the ball and without the ball. You won't see Arsenal being under the cush and being Arsenal recovering where they're like, that doesn't happen this season. Maybe you remember it happened when Declan Rice was with Liverpool 4 players 2 years ago. That doesn't happen to Arsenal now. It doesn't, because Mikel Arteta learned. And Mikel Arteta doesn't put his team in a position when someone has to make a decision like that. Do I go to the overlap run, or I block the shot, or I cover this? That's what Mikel Arteta.
Those 2 years ago, when our centre backs were more exposed, were they good, same level as Van Dijk now, or better, or worse?
And your 2 defenders are not better than prime Van Dijk at all.
No. We're talking about current Van Dijk. You're talking about 2 years ago when Gabriel and Saliba were more exposed. Did you ever see them put in performances like what Van Dijk's doing this season? Granted, take it into account, maybe they were less exposed than before than the current Liverpool team.
Do you remember Saliba last season? Do you remember Saliba last season when people said that he's not good last season, and people actually said that he fell off last season, or no?
I remember.
Do you mean the media, or do you mean Arsenal fans, or do you
everyone? The media, of course. I
don't think everyone was in agreement.
And have you ever seen Arsenal play without a DM?
No, but you just said we were more exposed last couple of seasons ago.
More exposed, but not like Liverpool this season.
They've been playing with 2 DMs for a while.
Guys, the situation of Liverpool, it happens every single game.
So Mo, tell me then, who are you taking right now in the Liverpool?
No, I would take Gabriel because of the system, of course. I wouldn't take Van Dijk, but
at Liverpool.
But I don't think you understand. Let me rack. The problem with me is we can have a conversation. This is what it is. We can have a conversation about it. My problem with football debates, right, is when people say, no, it's not even up for debate. We aren't even talking about it. I will choose Gabriel, but I'm willing to have a conversation. When Rak explained stuff, I'm willing to have that conversation. You get my point? The difference is...
Would Liverpool be better with Gabriel and Saliba, with the rest of these guys, with the void in our central midfield? I question it. If you have,
they play with 2 DMs, and they have several years.
They're prime time athletes.
If you have Van Dijk and Konate, take Van Dijk and Konate in that Liverpool. I think they would do. I think Van Dijk and Konate would do better than Saliba and Gabriel at Liverpool if you just swap those 2 round. Because the centre backs are problematic, but there's bigger fish than that.
You need to be an athlete.
Right.
The first thing you need to be is an athlete to be in that Liverpool centre back. To be a Liverpool centre back today, the system you got, you're completely exposed. You need to be an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue that's also like Arsenal.
Saliba and Gabriel aren't like a couple of like bums.
I think you can make the argument that in modern day football, and maybe this is also why some of the more creative players that you know from yesteryear, you don't see him as frequently, because it's a prerequisite now in an attacking sense to be an athlete. You have to be an athlete all over the pitch. You have to cover more miles. You have to sprint more. Like if you watch football, I implore anybody to go back and watch a game from the 90s and maybe even early 2000s and just look at the difference in pace. Now, there's a lot of reasons. Partly the pitch wasn't the same. Or even if you want to go back even further, even like the 70s, no, maybe not 70s. You struggle to find footage and stuff, but maybe in the 90s in Serie A when they're playing on bogged pitches and stuff like that, the game is very, very different because the circumstances around the game are very different.
Let me do it in super chess. Maybe we can move on. Van Dijk, this, Gabriel, that, none are clutch as Maguire. His redemption should be
I don't know. It's telepathic. I don't know where it comes.
Maguire had a good game the other. Maguire's, I think he's winning some Man United fans back, perhaps.
No, I think Leach is the guy, though. Leach is the guy.
He actually wants to retire there.
Okay, I want to ask a question about this since we're talking about the centre backs. Once I do these, Van Dijk has been
responsible for about 5 losses and blames everyone.
Fair enough.
What losses was he responsible for, Emmanuel? Tell us in the chat.
I'll give you Bournemouth.
What specific losses is he responsible for? I'd like to hear this.
I can't remember what else, but he's kind of made mistakes this season.
You could argue against Brentford. I think he lost the header, which was a flick on in the last minute. So I think you could argue. I mean, it's a header in the last minute from a long throw, but fair enough. If you want to talk about that, I mean.
Everyone says Bournemouth.
I'm going to actually run a poll now.
He was responsible for all 3.
I'm going to run a poll now, right?
Wait, did you lose the Bournemouth game?
No,
I don't remember the opening game of the season. I don't remember the second Bournemouth game. My bad.
That's it. Van Dijk. I'm going to actually make it Van Dijk, Gabriel, or Saliba and see how many will get defenders. But there is another defender that we haven't spoken about. Saliba has been good, if not better than Gabriel.
He's been pretty good.
Not as good. I think Gabriel's been the outstanding.
I think Gabriel has been the best defender.
I think Gabriel's great.
I think the best defender. Big up, my man. Hamoud Mohammed. Big up, my Habibi. Thank you so much for the donation. This is the best show you host, Mo. Thanks for the guys. It's not me because I am on every other show. That means it's not me. It's the guys that make it good. That means
this is the best panel.
that means it's not me. That means the other guys, Hamoud. Yeah.
Sal's face tells me he disagrees.
No. He's better than me. Trust me. Wait, Neil, I was going to ask you something. Do you think that Arsenal's unit, as a unit, they press together and they defend together? Do you think that has an impact on the centre backs at Arsenal in regards to their structure?
Absolutely.
Because I see them defending against Man United with 7-8 players in their own half, and then they start pressing more. Do you think their press is a little bit more effective than Liverpool's or their unit kind of thing? And it obviously makes Van Dijk and Saliba and Gabriel look better or worse. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I'm actually with Mo when Mo talks about this. The structure that Arteta has created, our unit means that personnel matters less to an extent because the structure is so solid, Sal. So yeah, it does make a difference. We are protected more, right? If you look at it from when like Mosquera came in, and because the unit and the structure and the framework we've got is so solid,
exactly the same almost.
Imagine if Van Dijk went out and Mosquera had to come in and make his debut at the Emirates, right? Because that's what Mosquera had to do. He had to go on at Anfield because Saliba got injured, right? So, but you didn't really notice too much change. That's I think for me, the biggest thing is if you don't notice change when personnel comes in and out, you can tell the structure is pretty much protecting most of the players. So I do agree with that point. I basically stand on where most.
It used to happen with Sir Alex Ferguson. He could play no matter who we played, even if he played Fletcher and Carrick as centre backs. It was just.
Can I ask a question about this? Have we seen lately Gabriel and Saliba defending spaces?
Zonal.
Like two fullbacks pushing forward, and they are consistently defending the high line. They are consistently doing this. Do we see that often? What I mean by this, if Gabriel and Saliba are the best defenders that happened since sliced bread, why doesn't Arteta trust them and play attacking fullbacks and let Rice and Zubamendi go higher, or Zubamendi or Rice at least? Why does Arsenal? That's a devil's advocate question. Why does Arsenal have to have a very good structure to protect them from having to defend individually for the majority of the game, like what Pep Guardiola does?
But Mo, that's Arteta showing what he believes will be the difference maker in us winning a league title. Because this year, you've seen
already
Arteta
people are triggered already in the chat.
You've seen Arteta. It's about control, isn't it, Mo? And this year, more than any other year, we look the most controlled. We look the most solid unit, which we haven't done in the last couple of seasons. He hasn't been. Would you agree, Mo, that this is the season where Arteta's? It's even more about control. It's even more about the defensive unit. Would you agree that that's been a change this season?
It's about control, not the defensive unit.
Okay, but would you say that this season it's been more
even controlling? Okay,
because don't forget. On your point, you asked the question. On your point, you said
you asked me a question. I just wanted to answer.
If that's the case, Gabriel and Saliba were no. You asked the question, so I'm going to tell you.
And then you asked me a question back. Didn't you just ask me a question?
Yeah, let me answer your one, and then you can answer my one. So if your question was, why doesn't Arteta, release the handbrake a little bit more, maybe throw more men forward and actually leave them more exposed? They have actually had that happen to them in previous seasons. Not like Liverpool, because let's be honest, the structure of Liverpool is ridiculous. And in that time, Mo, what I will do is stand up for Gabriel and Saliba in the sense that we've still had the best defense, not just this season. The last 3 seasons, we've still had the best defense. And that, even when we haven't had as much control in games as we have now.
I'm asking you about this season. Why are we going to that's
on Arteta. That's on. I said to you at the start. That's on Arteta.
So the question is, why, if you have the best individual defenders, why doesn't he let me give you an example in football. If I trust my 2 center backs as much individually to defend, I would push my 2 fullbacks, similar to what Jurgen Klopp used to do. Trent and Robertson both very high. He would used to push Wijnaldum inside the 18. Henderson used to be very close to Trent, Salah inside. And the back line for Liverpool used to consist of 2 center backs and Fabinho to fend for them. Because he trusted them to actually stop the opposition.
Right? What you're asking,
does that give you slightly less control?
Can you imagine the criticism Arteta would get if he
does that give you slightly less control?
Right?
I am asking the question, why are people getting so triggered? Because I asked a question.
A winning team. First thing people would ask.
But I'm not asking to change it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a genius.
This is what's going to make them successful. And
I think people misunderstand the question. I'm not discrediting Arteta. I'm saying, I am literally saying that I like this. I want my team, and I said that plenty of times, the difference between Arsenal and every team around in Europe is even when Arsenal lose, when I watch Arsenal play, I feel they are in control. And I said that plenty of times. They are in control of most of the situations in the game. Of course, not 100%, but rarely, even against Man United, Arsenal had more XG. Yes, they allowed Man United moments to get the goals, and Man United deserved the win, but Man United are in control. This was related to Van Dijk versus Guehi, for example, versus Van Dijk and Saliba. If Van Dijk and Saliba, which is the question, are individually brilliant like this, and we know that Arsenal are a little bit struggling to score goals, sometimes from open play, especially against low blocks. So to counter this, you will need your midfielder to make late runs, like what Enzo Fernandez did last season. That's why he got a lot of goals. You need, like Gundogan used to do for City, make that late run in the 18, Wijnaldum. But instead of that, there is always that protection in front of the defense of Arsenal with Rice, Zubamendi, and one of the fullbacks a little bit.
Why fix something that's not broken, Mo?
And I'm not. I don't want to.
The fullbacks
but I didn't say that. I didn't say he needs to fix it. I think people are mixing up the question. I think people are mixing the question completely.
You're saying, why does Arteta, but you're saying, why does Arteta not do that? If these guys are so great and he trusts them fully, why does he not do that? It's about Arteta. That's Arteta thing. He wants even more control, Mo. He does trust his defensive units. He does trust his centre backs because he's seen 3 seasons in a row Arsenal show up with the best defense in the league. But he wants more control in games, Mo. And now you can see it. And now he's thinking, well, it's working. Would I want us to play a little bit more attacking at times and be a little bit free and maybe suggest what you're doing? I wouldn't mind having a look at it, Mo. But Arteta ain't going to. That's an Arteta thing. It's not because he doesn't trust his defense.
So can I ask you something?
I believe it's about he wants more control.
Why I'm being dishonest? What is wrong with the question that I asked?
Well, I think he does send the fullbacks up. They're just not offensive fullbacks. Like he sends Timber up, but Timber doesn't. Timber's not a
by the way, Calafiori's not a shrinking violet, Mo. Calafiori's not a shrinking violet.
Going forward.
Okay, fair enough. So can I ask you a last question about this? Do you think that Gabriel and Saliba can defend in spaces individually? Neil?
I'm hoping we don't have to find out like the way Liverpool finding out. I'm hoping we don't have to find out. Can they?
They didn't against City.
I have not seen anything to suggest that they.
What about last season, Neil? When Gabriel got injured and then pretty much Arsenal fell apart when Saliba was left on his own?
Actually, Arsenal played very well when Gabriel got injured. He beat Real Madrid smashed Real Madrid 5-1.
Nah, they lost. They lost.
You're not talking about last season.
That team is washed out.
That was when.
No. That's 2 seasons ago when Saliba got injured and Gabriel.
But still, that's still 2 seasons ago. Still a fair point. Saliba doesn't look the same player unless Gabriel is next to him.
That's a different point, and I will agree with you on that. I will agree with you on that, Mark.
This is why most great defensive partnerships, you have complementary players. There are things that Gabriel is better at than Saliba, and vice versa.
And that's the argument I would make, Rack. Yeah, that's the argument. If I was you, that's the argument I would make too. Yeah, that's the argument I would make.
No, but that's why I said, as a partnership, they're without doubt the best partnership in the world. I have absolutely no qualms about saying it.
I would take them over anybody, bro.
I've not seen anything from Van Dijk this season that would make me pick him over the other two. But I get your point.
Let's not go back. The year after Van Dijk did his ACL, I remember people coming back and questioning him and saying that Liverpool, he's not going to be as good, he's not as good, and all this kind of stuff. And he went on to have 3 very exceptional seasons as individually. One of them, I mean, people can call it the quad season. Obviously, we didn't win the quad, but we played every single game that we could have potentially played, and we lost the last game in the league, and we lost in the Champions League final. That was the year after he came back from his ACL, and he was exceptional throughout that run. So I just don't think. I think Van Dijk has exceptional physical attributes, but apart from that, he reads the game very well. He's a leader. He does all those things that are non-physical just as well.
He's got better leadership qualities than Saliba, which is what Mark's getting at. I love Saliba. I think Saliba's ceiling is higher than Gabriel's. I don't.
Yes, I agree because his reading of the game is better.
Saliba is, as a defender, class. What Mark's getting at, which I can get on board with, is that you need more as a centre-back sometimes. Sometimes you need to, if Gabriel's going to go down, you need that one to step in and be the leader. He's not as vocal. He kind of leads with the way he defends. And Van Dijk has that leadership. Again, that's a fair argument. If I was Rack, I would go down that route. I still haven't seen enough from Van Dijk this season to suggest that I would take him over the other two. Either one of them.
I'll take.
Do we think Saliba or Gabriel are ever going to be players?
You know what?
Guys, Kelk, ask a question again.
Do we ever think that Gabriel or Saliba are going to win Player of the Year in the Premier League and come top 3 in the Ballon d'Or?
Gabriel. Yes, definitely Gabriel. If Gabriel didn't get injured this season, definitely Gabriel. I actually would between Gabriel.
Concerned about that injury he keeps getting because he got it last.
Yeah, but hold on. You're moving the goalpost. We're not talking about Ballon d'Or. I don't think there is not a lot of defenders.
Van Dijk was in the top 3 in the Ballon. I think he should have won. I think Van Dijk should have won a Ballon d'Or.
But hold on, Kilk. But there is no Neil or no Arsenal fan have said that even Gabriel and Saliba now are better than Van Dijk at his prime. I didn't hear Neil say that. There's no Arsenal fans that said this. Am I wrong, Neil?
I never said that.
No.
Nobody said that.
Question, we're comparing
but when Van Dijk hit the, I actually believe that one of the reasons Klopp was successful in his system is the signing of Virgil van Dijk in January 2018. That one signing allowed him to push his defensive line 10, 15 yards up. That signing, and I believe that signing changed the way they played football. You watch Liverpool before signing Van Dijk and after signing Van Dijk. The reading of the game of Van Dijk, how he's so good in
which is Neil mentioned this, the leadership in Van Dijk to actually be able to organize a defense allowed Jurgen Klopp to change the way they played completely, which is, by the way, it's the same that happened when Thiago Silva went to Chelsea. That leadership changed how you set up your line, how you set up your defense, because you got that guy that is so good in reading the game and preventing the opposition from playing the way they want to play. That is, will Gabriel win player of the season? I believe the Arsenal PR is going to Declan Rice. But if Arsenal PR, and I know why they do that, they love Declan Rice, he's their guy. I believe that Gabriel, if he didn't get injured this season, he's more deserved than Declan Rice to win him. But Gabriel started the season, was ridiculous on both sides of the game, was ridiculous on both sides of the game. And I believe that he was, because it's not only me, by the way, that spoke about this. Even every pundit was saying, should this guy be player of the season if Arsenal win the league? Yes, why not? Let me do this. Our fullbacks push up, but our DMs move in as a third center back. And also, not only, Declan Rice is being prevented from making late runs to the 18 to support the Eucharist. So there is still a block for Arsenal, which is Rice and Zubamendi in front of the two center backs. With the DM as the third center back, we split to cover spaces 100%. That's why they don't defend in spaces. Brian knows exactly what I'm talking about. There is always someone to cover there. By the way, this is a very good conversation that we had because it's tactical and stuff like this. Arteta does. He said over and over when asked about being conservative, he'll say, we play the most attacking fullbacks in the league. Yes, probably. But also your DMs and your midfield is conservative. Your midfielders are conservative. So that compensate for the fullbacks being high on the pitch. ACR here is saying, thank you. So I've asked the same, and my conclusion is Arteta is afraid to leave both alone. The year we were progressive and scored a lot, we also allowed a lot more goals. The following year, Arteta went with more defensive structure. Neil, do you agree with this?
Well, we allowed more goals, but we still had the best defense in the league. This guy's talking about 2 seasons ago when the back 19, when we won 17 of 19. We did score a ton of goals. We were flooding forward. I don't remember us conceding a ton of goals. I don't know how many goals we conceded, but I know we had the best defense in the league. But Arteta then did go with a more defensive structure, right? Or a bit more, or he's created a structure that is more solid and defensive. It's true. Because the year we pushed City to the final day and we got 90 points or whatever it was, we won 17 of our last 19. We scored a ton of goals. We were far more free flowing. But obviously, the caveat will be that you're going to concede a few more goals. I can't remember exactly how many conceded. But I'm going to
tell you one thing. I actually think that it's not on Arsenal. If teams open a little bit up for Arsenal, we will see Arsenal score more goals and we will see that system come to fruition, by the way. One of the problems, appreciate you, man, for super chat. Appreciate everyone. There's one more super chat to do. I think one of the main problems is that teams really defend against Arsenal. And about the handbrake thing for Arsenal, how can Arsenal be the high scorers in the Champions League if they are not good offensively? How? How are they scoring 3 against Inter, 4 against Atletico, 3 against Bayern? Why?
Because people are bored of them winning. That's why. That's all it is. And people use excuses for them winning. So they just try to create this narrative that Arsenal are boring. So that's what they do. They did it with United a few times, many times when we were successful.
Because by the way, that system, the reason why I say that Arteta has the best coach team in the world now currently, because in Europe, it's not only that they have the best offensive, they have the best defensive as well. So that system works. I think it's an amazing system. The problem is the oppositions don't open up. They just don't. Saliba is the better defender. Saliba had the 2 high-profile mistakes last season, and Gabriel get the profile for the goals. These wrap options. I believe I would take the defender that is actually very dangerous going forward, which is Gabriel, to be honest. I want to actually speak about a couple of things about Lisandro Martinez and Mark Guehi, since we're talking about defenders. How is Mark Guehi ranked with these guys? Do we rank Mark Guehi along with these guys as a good defender with them?
No.
Can he change the fortunes of City?
I mean, I think he's a good defender. I don't think he's like a top 10 defender. Like, I like the player. Like, I think he's going to be one of those players that gives you a solid like 7 out of 10 every game. I just think he's consistent, but I don't think his ceiling is super high. But I like the player. I'm glad we signed him, and I think he's going to help quite a bit because our center backs.
Really?
Hasn't he got the highest number of ball when he was at Palace? He spent most of the season at Palace, and he got the highest number of ball recoveries this season. Guehi.
I'm going to be frank. I do not watch
him.
Crystal Palace, so it's hard for me to really gauge.
Before Palace started falling apart,
Strasbourg, but not Crystal Palace.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm watching League One because the Premier League is boring. I watched League One this season. The Premier League is very boring. I don't enjoy the Premier League.
I think Man United are entertaining. I think we're quite entertaining. I think we've been all right this last couple of weeks. We're holding it up for the Premier League. We're entertaining. 4-4.
I prefer the French league this season. The quality is much lower, but the entertainment value is much higher.
Anyway, I think people are sleeping on Licha Martinez. I think Licha Martinez is a great defender. I think he's on the top 10 of the Premier League defenders when he's fit. I think he is. I think he makes such a difference to Man United, by the way. Just because he's short, people use that against him. But I think he's one of the better defenders in the Premier League.
Palace's defense this season was the second best defense up until they started obviously falling apart completely and people are not happy and whatever else. But when they were settled, when Palace was settled this season, before City went there and I think they put 3 past them. Yeah. And that's when everyone's like, okay, cool. What's going on here? Going to Palace when City went to Palace had the second best defense in the league and it wasn't even close. And a lot of that credit would have gone down to Mark Guehi. So I don't know if I mean, how much credit do we give Guehi? He didn't have a Saliba or a Gabriel next to him.
I think Palace fell off because of the Conference League. I think they're not used to European football. The squad is too small as well. So they've been struggling. There's
disharmony there as well, isn't there, in the club?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the game against City last year. They were absolutely phenomenal in that final. They were in control. I don't know what happened to them, to be honest with you.
But it's so easy to play at 3 at the back.
They don't have
Guys, it is very easy. Okay, it's not easy. The numbers are skewed because they play 3 at the back and they have the 3rd lowest line from all the teams in the Premier League. So the numbers are skewed. They play back 3 and they defend so deep. So there's a lot of protection. I like Guehi. On the eye, I see, to be honest with you, the one defender that reminds me of Virgil van Dijk is Mark Guehi, actually. The way he reads...
sleeping on Guehi, to be honest.
I'm going to tell you why. Because number 1, he wins a lot of his aerial duels. Number 2, he reads the game very well. And he's very good on the ball. So these are the attributes, right? Physically, he might not be Van Dijk, which is a big part of being a defender. Even Gabriel and Van Dijk, you know? But I remember that when I'm watching him, I think he's a very, very good defender. By the way, he's young. I think he's 24 or something like this. He's not that old.
Yeah, he's 25.
So yeah, he's not that old. He still has years and things to learn. But we know that there is no defender at City that comes good as a defender. They're always on the ball.
Joshua Vardiol? Hello.
John Stones.
Joshua Vardiol and John Stones are 2 of the most elite ball players.
You don't like John Stones on the ball?
John Stones is not really a team, though.
All of them are on the ball.
No, Mo thinks John Stones is a CM because of that Champions League final when he dunked all over their midfield.
We're not gonna do this. John Stones is one of the most overrated defenders to play in the Premier League. The problem with the thing about him is that he's very good on the ball, and when you play for Pep Guardiola, everything is hidden. Everything is hidden. Pep Guardiola is the best coach to actually highlight your good attributes and literally bury everything that is not good. He is, because you have the ball all the time. You don't need to defend. We see you this season when you actually need to defend. We see the defenders of Man City when you actually need to defend. We saw Gerard Piqué when he needed to defend.
That's bold.
Gerard Piqué was one of the... And by the way, I'm not saying that is bad. Pep Guardiola's defenders don't get tested as the others. Why? Because it's Pep Guardiola's system. They have the ball 70% of the time. on transition, they are the best team to dispossess you within the first 15 seconds, and you don't have to defend in space.
We used to be. Not the last 2 seasons, we are not. That's why we are constantly getting destroyed.
Your defenders don't look good the last 2 seasons because the system is falling apart.
I mean, we do have somebody who is helping quite a bit on some of those transition opportunities. The problem is he's on the bench most of the time.
He's been found out.
The reality is that's what's happening now. Your defenders are getting exposed because they have to defend.
If Van Dijk's getting exposed because of his midfield, why can't my defenders also be getting exposed because of our poor midfield?
Because Van Dijk looked fantastic defensively when Liverpool were the highest pressing team in the world.
City are not pressing this season. Our press has been terrible. No wonder we keep losing the ball and don't win it back.
Are we comparing Ruben Diaz and John? I swear to God, if we're comparing Ruben Diaz and John Stones to Virgil van Dijk,
I'm not.
Thank you so much that you clarified this. Thank you to clarify this because we're not doing this. I am not gonna.
No, I'm just saying they have been quite exposed for the past 2 seasons because our midfield is not good. Rodri is half fit. He's not match fit yet. He's been mismanaged severely, and Bernardo Silva doesn't have legs anymore. And some of our signings haven't worked out. Tijani Reinders has been awful off ball in the midfield. He's only good attacking. He's absolutely worthless going backtracking and trying to win the ball back. Our press has been non-existent for most of the year. Like,
don't hold your breath for Rodri coming back, by the way. Like, I know you're saying he's not match fit.
I believe next season is when we'll see the best of him.
Best of
I believe
Rodri.
next season he'll be playing in Barcelona.
You've seen the best of Rodri, Kelps.
Yeah,
Sorry
we
to
also
say.
that was quite a peak we saw too. But Van Dijk had the exact same injury at the exact same age. Would you say that he just fell off the cliff and just never recovered? It took Van Dijk an entire year to build himself back up. Rodri is in the beginning of that process because of how mismanaged he's been.
That's not true, though. He didn't take him a season. People keep saying that the season after we got the ACL, we were going for the quad. We played every single game, and Van Dijk, I think, played every single game that season.
I still think he looked a little shaky to begin with. At the beginning of that season, he definitely struggled, and that's what Rodri's going through right now. But the only way he's going to get better is to play. He has to keep playing, and he has to stay fit. I mean, I'm not going to give up on the guy. I'm not.
Nobody's saying that. 22, 23 EPL.
90%. That's better than any midfielder in the Premier League right now. I think you guys just forgot how fucking good that guy was when he won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but he's had a big injury since. Players don't usually come back, especially at his age. Neil's right. There's no guarantee he's going to get back to anywhere near his best. He's old, and you just said it. They've mismanaged him.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think next season is when we'll see him back to his best.
Kelks, you did say a couple of months back, "I'll wait till January and Rodri will come back," and then this season. So now you're pushing it back a season, though, yeah? Just to clarify.
Well, yeah, because as I've just stated, he has. At the beginning of the season, I said he'll be at his best in January. I didn't anticipate he was going to miss 3 months with a hamstring injury. I didn't anticipate he was going to have a knee problem. I didn't anticipate that he was going to have whatever he had at the beginning of the season. I thought he was going to be playing all those games. And like what he's doing right now is he's playing all those games and he's struggling because he's, still finding.
Can I ask you something? Kelk? What do you think about his mentality?
I think he's focusing more on his health right now than he is on the team.
What do you think about him?
Trying to get himself back to be fit.
So what do you think about him complaining and saying that the world is against us
this week?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I did not like that. I don't like that. I don't complain about the refs, so I don't. I did not agree with it. You can look on my Twitter. I tweeted about it. I said that's embarrassing. Don't do that. That's the kind of stuff crybabies do. So I did not like that at all. I saw you made it sound like you liked it. I couldn't tell what your tone was on your tweet about it.
I loved it.
Which tweet? About
Rodri. You literally had a tweet about Rodri saying,
I'm going to tell you something.
I've never seen a player call the refs out like this.
If you come out and say there is a conspiracy against my club, I want fucking evidence. Because he's literally not only questioning that they're making the wrong decisions. The guy said, they don't want us to win. That means you're questioning the integrity of the whole system, the Premier League and the referees. You're literally saying that they're deliberately making mistakes so City don't win the league because they don't want City to win the league. That is horrible. By the way,
I don't agree with him, which is why I don't agree with him.
I know you disagree. I'm not. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that actually said that it's okay for him to complain about the referees. There is a difference when you saying they complain about the referee. The word they don't want us to win, you're literally saying that the whole league is scripted then. This is all scripted. You're telling us that everything is scripted.
There's something on Sky Sports with somebody, I don't remember who the guy was, but somebody high up in the Premier League saying that we want to have a new winner every 6 years. And blah, blah,
are we going to go into this?
I
don't think we should. I did this on the Gal show yesterday. It was absolutely ridiculous. There's a guy.
Speaking of certain fans.
No, but I'm going to tell you something. Do you want me to tell you something?
Every time a referee decision
Igal is not here. Igal is not here. Igal is not here. Igal is not here. Kelk, Igal is not here. But let me tell you the difference, Rak. The difference is when Arsenal complained about referees and when Liverpool complained about referees, specifically Man City fans said, get over yourself, move on. Nobody's against you. You're just crybaby. Man City fans, the majority of them, now I'm not saying Kelk, want the teams to stick with them because of the persistent mistakes that keep happening in the Premier League. They're like, no, they keep making mistakes. Look at this is incompetence. The referees in this league is this and that. So why did you, because you were winning, you left at Arsenal and you called them this and you called them that. You left at Liverpool with McAllister stuff.
No, but
this is the hypocrisy.
But if people were to come out and say referees are incompetent or referees make too many, fine. I've got no issue with that. Is when people start saying that there's a Premier League conspiracy, the referees are favouring Liverpool because of this other guy or this, unless you have solid proof, and at no point, as far as I know in English football history, but definitely in Premier League football history, no corruption has ever been proven. No one's ever come out with any like substantive claims. So I'm sorry, if you're gonna come out with nonsense like that, then you need to back out with something more solid. If you come out with something, if you bring out something more solid, then I'll hear it. But like, there's no corruption that we know of, and until someone presents me with proof, I just think
he got over emotional, didn't he, Rack? Let's be honest. He got over emotional. I mean, he should. If there's that much corruption against City, I mean, he should have got sent off that game anyway, right? And didn't get sent off. So what's he on about? He's.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. I think. By the way, me and Igal, I said to Igal before, since Igal was mentioned, do not come up with conspiracies and you don't want us to win. Say that they make mistakes against you because you are emotional, because of this, because of that. To Arak, it's spot on. To say that there is conspiracy against Man City, it's either he gets suspended and you provide evidence. Because you're literally questioning the integrity of everybody.
But what I was saying about Igal was actually yesterday on the Igal show, shout out him, he was on my side. He was like, so he's maybe because it's the shoes on the other foot and it's City this time versus Arsenal. But now he's like, referees make mistakes. These things happen. We all get emotional, blah, blah, blah. Igal was like super chilled, super like normal about this yesterday.
No. Listen, I know that there are things that affect you. But I've been talking to referees, right? And I spoke to referees about this and they told me something. They told me referees are humans. Sometimes the team that is winning, the teams that has the ball, they get the calls because in their head, it's unintentional that they think that this team is not going to foul. They want to play, they want the ball and the opposition foul. So they get the small calls. They say that normally the team that is riled up, that is nervous, the coach that is nervous, unintentionally as well, it's in the referee's head that this team will be more physical. They will be flying into tackles. And it's wrong. But that happens. We know that happens in football. We know that happens all the time. But I still think he should be, because in my opinion, this sets a precedent for now everyone that is decisions go against them. They say that the league doesn't want us to win. And now people can go on and say they want us to get relegated. Oh, they don't want us. They want this team with a bigger fan base. They don't want it. That opens the door to everyone in the press conference saying it's not only about the mistakes, they are against us. I think this is by the way, this is dangerous.
Have a tough job, right?
Do you think he'll get banned?
Make split second.
I think he should.
And they're only human.
I think
we should make mistakes all day, every day in normal walks of life. And yes, it when you're the person adjudicating with against two rabid sets of fan bases and teams, you are going to get things wrong. And I've thrown my toys out of the pram several times in the past when decisions haven't gone against us. But what I don't think is I don't believe that they're dishonest because that's a totally different thing.
They're never held accountable, though, are they? Really?
So this is something maybe, and I did think about it at the time. Maybe they should be brought out and made to answer for the decision. But it's just
if you and Iraq fuck up at work, we're getting called out.
But the problem is that when they have these Premier League TV shows where what's his face goes on and then starts explaining the result.
Howard Webb.
And he's
so hypocritical.
That in itself kicks up enough of a fuss for like the next day or two. So can you imagine if it was straight after a game? Like it's tough. And then there'll be all the death threats and all this kind of stuff. Like remember when that English referee, all those Roma fans started spitting him after he.
Yeah, but I'm
that these things. It's just.
But Neil, I think they are held accountable. That's what we don't see. The referees, when they make blatant mistakes, they get sent down to the championship. They don't ref in games. They don't. In our eyes, we think that they make mistakes. By the way, the same thing happens in Italy, by the way. There is a lot. By the way, I know that English fans think that the English referees are the worst. Rack lived in Torino, and you guys don't know that the Italian journalists, they go hard on referees to the point that they accuse them of taking bribes. So it is bad in Italy. By the way, there is nobody happy with the referees in Italy as well. Any referee, by the way. They say this one is biased for Napoli, Milan, Inter, Juventus. It happens everywhere. And this will always happen, by the way. But anyone that says maybe if they ban Rodri, maybe City win again because Nico Gonzalez is going to play. Maybe they need him to be banned, to be honest with you.
I think they start together on Sunday.
22-23 EPL season, Arsenal let in 43 goals. Fair enough. Bastoni is more overrated, you enter fraud. Here's the difference between me and everyone else, Hamid, and you as well. I think Bastoni is not the greatest defender as people think. I think he's a fantastic player going forward in a back three as a left-footed. That's why he creates a lot of big chances. I don't think that Bastoni is that great of a defender, by the way. And I think he lost the art of defending, being playing as a back three in one of the most attacking teams in Italy because he doesn't have to defend most of the time. Basically. Big up my man for becoming a member. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. But listen, guys, I want to thank everyone that is here stuck with us. Hit that like button. We reach 200 likes. We can do 300 likes. But I got to ask you guys to go and support the Frenemies podcast. Neil and Mark. Neil, talk to us about the podcast so people can go and check it out. Mark as well.
What is it to say? Listen, if you like straight to the point, blunt, no holds barred chat, which can go in any which direction. One's a Chelsea fan, one's an Arsenal fan. Hit us up, man. You know where we are. Mark, anything you want to add?
If you like to see two fans battle it out and get a high out of it, then the Frenemies is for you. And that's what we love to do. Even if we're wrong, we just like to battle each other.
How long do you two know each other? Sorry.
35 years.
No,
wow.
It's 30 years.
30 years. Same thing.
Oh, it's 5 years. Chelsea and Arsenal.
And the Stratford Post, of course, Sal's channel. If you don't know Sal's channel, you haven't been on YouTube. Sal is one of the guys that OGs, of course, on YouTube here with, of course, his views on Man United. He does shows every day, live shows in the morning, of course, in the afternoon. So go and support him. And also Kelk with True City Fan, of course, and Patrick with Mateus and the guys there. Fantastic work. As always, go and support the boys. Ahmed, incorrect his shit in general. That's why he's going to dunk on your team when we win the title this season. That's why he's going to dunk on your team, Hamid. Hamid, I want you here when you cry at the end of the season, when you go trophies this season and Inter win the league. I want you here, by the way, Hamid. When we dunk on you at the end of the season. You fraud, you absolute boring-ass team with fucking shit Allegri coaching the 1-0. Absolute boring team.
It's coming out now, isn't it?
Roski, fucking boring-ass team. AC Milan. Bro.
They have got a better kit, though.
I don't
Napoli
think
have
so.
the best kit. Napoli, I think. Armani, innit? Was it Emporio Armani?
Armani, bro. The fucking Napoli word Armani, bro. Can you imagine? Armani.
Yeah, Napoli's
Oh,
a better
he's
kit,
back.
yeah.
You
I
keep-
just
you
meant
keep-
AC
you know
Milan have a
what?
better kit than Inter Milan. That's
You know
all I
what?
meant.
Keep saying 7 Champions Leagues, 7 Champions Leagues, 7 Champions Leagues.
until it's like 50 years from now, and we have 30 league titles and a treble and 3 Champions Leagues, and you just keep saying it, 7 Champions Leagues. That's all you. But that's all you can brag about. Oh, we got 7 Champions Leagues. We got 7 Champions Leagues.
0 trebles.
Bro, you won 2 league titles probably in the last like 30 years, bro. Something like this, 25 years.
The only treble winners.
Champions League. No.
Yes.
Anyway, big up everyone that is here.
The treble lives in Manchester.
This is gonna take you to MHF. Me and Osam will be there. Hit that like button, guys. Support the guys. I will see you guys tomorrow in a big day for the Premier League, and we are out of here, people. I did not check. Yes, I did.
There.